Hello students, this is Vaibhavi, your teacher, and today we are going to learn steps of research design. Phases or steps of research design. Research design is the plan, structure and strategy of investigation conceived so as to obtain answer to research question and control the variance so that the entire research is conducted economically within a scheduled time frame. The research design may be a specific presentation of the various steps in process of quantitative research as under 1. Selection of problem. A researcher before getting on to the job of planning a research design for proposed study should select and define the problem clearly and in operational terms. We should do clear about following aspects: what to observe, whom to observe, how to observe, why to observe, how to record the observation, how to analyze the observation, what inferences can be drawn. Once the researcher has perfect understanding about these aspects, he can take up the job of planning a research design in the following steps. 2. Title of the research topic. The title of the research project should be spelled out in clear words. It should be brief, precise and highlight the scope of the research problem in generalized terms. 3. Purpose of the study. The rationale of the research work undertaken should be presented in effective manner. How the present research will contribute to a general fund of knowledge and help in solving complex problems facing the society of businesses should be stated. The worth of research should be provide and theoretical and practical justification of investigation should be given. 4. Critical appraisal of previous studies. The critical appraisal of previous research studies should be given categorically. This enables the researchers to get acquainted with the previous research work in the field of his investigation. 2. Know the meaning of different concepts involved in those studies to identify the loopholes in existing research, to avoid duplication of work and to cover up the shortcoming of past research in the current research design. 5. Statement of the problem. After critically review of previous research, the researcher will be able to state his problem in ambiguous and precise terms. Generally, the problem of investigation is stated in the form of statement of question. 6. Scope of investigation. In view of the time, money and other resources at the disposal of researcher, he has to specify the geographical limits of the design and the time span covered by the current research. Once the scope of investigation is delimited, the investigator will report the scope in the clear term while giving out the limitation of his research. 7. Objectives of study. The investigator should clearly state the objectives of his research in the form of statement. The objectives depend on whether the researcher is descriptive, explanatory, or experimental. Statement of objectives delineated the type of information that needs to be collected. It determines the scope of the research. Investigators should ensure that the objectives mentioned are well within the scope of investigation undertaken by him. 8. Definition of concepts and terms. The researcher should define clearly every term and concept he uses in the investigation. This will help him to communicate his research to the audience without ambiguity. For example, in some research, the concept needing clearly operational definition could be development, black money, marginal farmers, sick units, small industry, marketing strategy, operational cost, solvency, liquidity, and so on. Such terms need proper explanation. 9. Identification of variables. Variables refers to an event or process of futures that can be changed or can change on its own according. The researcher should identify the various variables involved in his investigation, say cost, sales, price, profit, debt, education level, family structure, production, labor hours, capacity, turnover, etc. The variables are classified as quantitative variables, that continuous or qualitative, that is discrete, independent variables which can be manipulated by the experimenter, and dependent variables, response variables. Formulation of hypothesis. Forming of hypothesis makes the objectives of the framing of hypothesis makes the objectives of study as well as many other aspects of the research clear. The hypothesis is a testable statement of potential relationship between two or more variables. 11. Selection of sample. Majority of investigation make use of sampling. For this, the investigator should define the population or universe of study, determine the appropriate size of sample, and use proper method of selecting a sample which is a true representative of population. 12. Data collection. The empirical phases of research design includes the collection and processing of data. The primary data may be collected through observation, interview, questionnaire, and schedules. The secondary data may be collected through record, reports, periodicals, journal, and books. 30. Data processing and tabulation. The data collected through different sources by using different methods is edited, compiled, codified, and classified. Finally, it is presented in the form of table with suitable heading, and it is also presented in the form of charts, graphs, and diagrams. Wherever necessary, 14. Analysis of data. Depending upon the nature of data, objectives of research, and relationship of variables expressed in a hypothesis, the investigator should subject the data to appropriate statistical analysis. The researcher may make use of computers for accurate processing of data within a short span of time. 15. Interpretation of the result. The result of statistical and accounting analysis should be interpreted. The investigator can generalize his findings, draw the inferences, and form the hypothesis. 16. Suggestions for further research. The investigator, while concluding his research, should also explore the areas of further research in the field of his investigation on the basis of insight he has gained in the course of his research. Bibliography. 17. Bibliography. There are different ways of reporting the bibliography. However, a large number of researchers, while reporting the reference, use the following order: 1. Name of the author. 2. Year of publication. 3. Year of publication. 3. Title of book or article. 4. Pages number referred. 5. Publishers' addresses. 18. Summary of report. The researcher should report his research to the audience by briefly highlighting the finding of his research. 19. Chapter scheme. Research design should also given a scheme of chapterization, including the serial number, title of each chapter, and the theme of each chapter. Theme of each chapter. 20. Time schedule and budget. A clear schedule indicating time to be devoted for each stage of investigation. The budget of expenses under different head of accounting, such as salaries to supervisors, traveling, computer analysis, report preparation, contingencies, and other expenses should be stated. Thus, students, today we learn about steps of research design. Thank you.